Hi, welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist. This is episode 176. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis, and I am very happy to be talking to you today. Whenever you happen to be listening to this, whenever your today is. Today's episode is, it's called My New Coping Mechanism. And it's about screaming. I'm just going to go ahead and give it away. What's my new coping mechanism? Screaming. It's very nice. I promise I won't scream at you on this podcast. Just, heads up. Mostly it's about a silent scream rather than an actual scream. So this scream episode is scream-free, sort of. So without further ado, I give to you my new coping mechanism. A year ago, I was so angry, I felt like I could destroy villages with my fury. The Kavanaugh hearings gave me a powerful rage. I'd never felt anything like it. I really did feel like a dragon. But over the last year, despite many awful, infuriating things happening, I have not felt that same fire-spitting rage in a while. The rage doesn't usually feel good, but I have noticed that it is energizing. And this last year has felt just low-level horrifying, like poison dripping. My rage is just sort of simmering. I've become almost numb to it. I read about another atrocity, and instead of wanting to kick something, I just shake my head and say, "Oh, this now?" I worry that the relentlessness of the horrors and bad behavior has immunized me to things that really should make me rage. I feel like this is happening to a lot of us. We can't reconcile the relentlessness of the news, so we sort of numb out. That numbing out, that pushing aside of the nightmares has not been good for me, not for my physical or mental health. I actually think I was doing better when I was kicking mad. So I decided I needed to find a way to adapt to these screwed up circumstances. I decided to scream every time I read or heard some new infuriating fact. Screaming is releasing and physical and expressive. I thought it might help get the fury out of me rather than letting its poison build up in there. But I do live in a dense urban area, and probably my neighbors don't need the extra worry of a woman screaming all the time. So I've implemented the silent scream response. A silent scream has the physical benefits of a voiced one, without the sound that might make the neighbors nervous or damage the vocal cords. The silent scream can be small or large. It can be expressed through just the face or the whole body. News about a moat filled with alligators? Silent scream. Story about the gag rules' impact on the country? Silent scream. I silent scream so many times a day now. Sometimes I forget and I read some bit of news and start to feel a sinking sensation of hopelessness, but once I notice it, I open my mouth and scream silently and I feel a bit better, more powerful, more energized, less hopeless. So, this is your invitation to join me. Throw your head back and let it out. And maybe eventually we might start doing it in public. The Women's March might feature an epic, simultaneous, silent scream, or a voiced one. I read about a Mexican tradition wherein the population has a good collective shout on the 15th of September at 11 o'clock for an hour in honor of independence. I don't know if I could scream for an hour, but I do know that a good collective scream, silent or voiced, might just be the thing I need. So a friend of mine who read this decided that she wanted to do it, so she's been doing it. And then she was like, what if we did it together? And I was like, how do we do that? Because she lives in a completely different state, fairly far away from me. And then we just worked out, like, we scream at 2:15 every day, Eastern Standard Time. So if you feel like you want to collectively scream with my friends and I, we are screaming at 2:15 every day. My alarm was already set for 2:15 every day, so we just added the scream on top of it, and it's great. So we have an appointed time to scream too. In addition to screaming in response to things, we also have scheduled screams. Yes, and there are a few more booked in there as well. So if you care to join us, do let me know you're screaming with us. That way we can think of you as we scream. We won't be screaming at you, obviously, but you can scream with us. Whatever time it is on your end. 2:15 Eastern Standard American Time. We're screaming. Come along. And it really does help. It's really weird. Like, it just makes such a difference. I don't know how to sum it up, but I think it's just like the body knows that you're purging some stuff, and it is a release. So, yeah, screaming. So maybe it's a little silent scream revolution. Come and join it. Yeah. What can I tell you else about this? Nothing. What I'm going to do is play you the song in just a moment. I will say there's another post coming about my search for a song for this post. So I'm not going to say a lot about it, but I will say, in searching for songs that feature the word scream, I found a lot of them, but they were all men. And they were all white men. They were mostly metal, which I'm just interested in. So I have a post coming about that. And I was going to try to do, like, I was like, oh, I can't do any of these. So I was going to do Whisper to a Scream, because it has the word scream in it. But I just, like, I started to learn it. I practiced it a little bit, and then, I don't know, like a few days into practicing it, I was like, this does not speak to the spirit of this post, like, at all. And yeah, I just thought this Ozzy Osbourne song about screaming is actually much more on the button, and I should not be scared of it. And so I'm no longer scared of it. I was scared of it before. I feel like a lot of jokes were made at my expense about me being a la-di-da, folky dokey kind of chick back in my youth. And I feel like those stuck to me a little bit. Like, I couldn't play an Ozzy Osbourne song. I just couldn't. And the way I'm going to do it is a little bit folksy dokesy la-di-da. I don't think it's escapable, but I do think I can still sing a song that's asking you to scream. So that's what I have to say about it. I am going to play it on ukulele because, right? Of course I am. It is called Let Me Hear You Scream, which is funny for a song, a post that's about silent screaming, but you get the point. And I will have more to say about this particular screaming phenomenon and the songs about screaming. That's coming up. I have not yet even typed that post, but I have written it. And you probably won't hear it on the podcast for a little while, but it's coming. So hold your horses. I know the horses are like, hey, we can't wait, but you just hold them. So Ozzy Osbourne's coming up in a moment, or rather me singing Ozzy Osbourne is coming up in a moment. Meanwhile, if you like the podcast, please tell someone about it. Share it with a friend. A lot of people don't know how to listen to podcasts, which is really, wow. I think I've told you guys this story before about how a friend of mine was like, oh, no, I can't listen to podcasts. Like, we're really short on funds. And I was like, they're free. And she did not know that they were free. So there are people who, like, people don't know. A lot of people don't know. And I don't know. Also, like, I've realized that I have a bunch of music online, but, like, not everybody knows how to access those things and needs some help. So if you can help someone listen to a thing they might enjoy, do it. Yes, so share, like, subscribe, download, give 5 stars on iTunes. Reviews are helpful. There are 3 5-star ratings on iTunes now, which I really appreciate. Thank you very much. I love them. And then if you feel like you can throw some dollars my way, that would also be awesome and much appreciated. I am on Patreon at Emily R. Davis. So patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. And you can just like throw me money at PayPal or Ko-fi. And Ko-fi goes sort of directly to PayPal. So yeah. Right. So all of that business aside, now I give to you Let Me Hear You Scream, originally by Ozzy Osbourne, and now sung by me with my ukulele, Little Dorrit. Let me hear you scream. I'm black and bruised, beat up, but still I take the blows. 'Cause all I need is blood and sweat and skin and bones. I'll take this rage, rattle your cage. Nobody said it's easy. It's do or die. Only the strong survive. Get ready for the last stand. Get ready, I'm your hangman. Let me hear you scream like you want it. Let me hear you yell like you mean it. If you're gonna go down, go loud, go strong, go proud, go on, go harder, go home. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you scream. I'll pull you up and push you right back in your place. I'll take you down and wipe that smile right off your face. I'll watch you break, you're mine to take. Don't blink, you just might miss it. It's all or nothing, nowhere left to run. Are you ready for the last fight? Get ready for the roar cry. Let me hear you scream like you want it. Let me hear you yell like you mean it. If you're gonna go down, go loud, go strong, go proud, go on, go harder, go home. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you scream. Let me hear you scream like you want it. Let me hear you yell like you mean it. If you're gonna go down, go loud, go strong, go proud, go